This is Johnny Blue Star. Thanks for joining us again. Today's video is called the Planetary Empowerment Infrastructure. Here I want to give you a picture of the various structures we need to complete our objectives in this GoFundMe program. So now we're going to discuss the Coalition website, the Broadcast Center, and the social network infrastructure. The Coalition of Planetary Empowerment, whose currently unfinished website is SaveOurHomeworld.com, subscribes to the idea that there's a legitimate spiritual path, accessible to the individual, in which true and unfettered contact with Source will produce the highest level of fulfillment possible in this world. The Coalition website will stress individual manifestation. This will be in two ways. One, giving members information and access to resources that deal with practical matters revolving around health, happiness, and prosperity, ranging from topics like how to start and operate a small business, how to create effective social network profiles, working at home remotely, as well as access to expert job recruiters, life coaches, health experts, relationship specialists, etc., vetted by New Galaxy Enterprises. Two, information and resources that will further each member's understanding of how to contact Source and how to be empowered to create manifestations aligned with one's true self and one's relationship to the divine presence. The Coalition does not in any way pretend to have any custodianship of a member's personal relationship to that path. However, it does postulate that the world of true desire exists on a certain level of awareness, and it is possible, through contact with Source, to help create or manifest these desires in the real world. The Coalition intends to provide its members with information and resources to evaluate that path, but also with the practical means to implement employment aspirations, business dreams, and personal relationships. To do that, it will provide outsourced and approved providers. Whereas all basic but critical information for our members will be provided for free, there will be the opportunity to utilize some of our providers who specialize in services compatible with our self-empowerment mission. Here is a screenshot of a portion of the website we are currently constructing for the Coalition. Two of our other websites are now currently active. They are connected to our media content development and our broadcasting divisions. We're hoping in the future resources from these divisions of the company and their content will help support the Coalition in a variety of ways, in addition to our crowdfunding efforts. The second component of our infrastructure is the Broadcast Center. Over the past few years, we have developed and broadcast programs focusing on topics relevant with personal, business, and political alignment with spiritual values. These programs were Threshold Radio, Inalienable and Free, and Integrative Hermetic Health with Dr. Hugo Rodier, and are archived in various locations, including YouTube, iTunes, BBS Radio, and NewGalaxyBroadcasting.com. Most recently, we broadcasted live but remotely through the highly host-friendly and promotionally rich facilities of BBS Radio, one of the oldest and most successful remote online broadcasting stations, utilizing live board-op assistance when broadcasting live. Right now, for financial reasons, we are pre-recording our broadcast but eager to go live again. Here's the website, available now to listen to all of our archived programs. Whereas I respect all real, serious alternative media that defends citizen and human rights, our programs are specially meant to look at political, personal, and business from the standpoint of core spirituality, a spiritual position that mirrors the famous phrase in the Declaration of Independence, which affirms the equality of all men, and that they have inalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is also our assertion that all men have the capacity to create with their Creator, and that connection will greatly enhance their abilities to find their core mission in life and help them manifest their desires consistent with the will of God and His sacred purpose for each individual on this planet. Core spirituality simply asserts, in conjunction with this phrase, that indeed our Creator God has created all His children equal, regardless of their race, religion, ethnicity, gender, etc. Therefore, people on earth have the right to demand that these rights be recognized by governments and that the sovereign rights of their countries be also respected by other countries. We are all equal under God. Inalienable and Free Voice of the Coalition is a political program respecting those views and is meant to support an organization aimed at empowering citizens collectively to promote these rights in government, business, and media. On December 2nd, 2017, we began to podcast a program called Inalienable and Free Voice of the Coalition.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And now New Galaxy Broadcasting presents Inalienable and Free, Voice of the Coalition, a program addressing the grave challenges to human and citizen rights in America and the rest of the world. How can we, the people of Earth, take back the power and privileges granted to us by God and addressed so significantly in the Declaration of Independence? Our rights are inalienable, that is, given by God and incapable of being taken away from or given by another. These rights are the basis of liberty, the foundation of all life and happiness. The Coalition of Planetary Empowerment is an organization designed to give its members tools and information to empower them personally, in relationships and in business and employment, but also to give them a voice and the ability to help transform political and corporate governance to support the true needs and desires of people throughout the world. Inalienable and Free focuses on the need for government and corporate business interests to be responsive to the will and desire of their constituents and consumer shareholders. Our oldest program, Threshold Radio, is more focused on questions about the individual and higher reality. There we explore many topics of interest to those seeking answers to fundamental questions regarding the deeper meaning of life here on Earth. Part of our goals will be to assist members in understanding both the practical and spiritual aspect to allow the manifestation of their core goals and desires. We will also explore other intriguing aspects of the human experience, like the phenomena of near-death experience, alleged contact with extraterrestrial civilizations, the colonization of other worlds, practices like mindfulness, martial arts, and meditation, cosmic consciousness, clean, beneficial, cutting-edge energy technology, the need for expanding organic agriculture, a potpourri of important, fascinating issues. Here is our standard promo for Threshold Radio. This is Johnny Bluestar. Welcome to Threshold, a global media event. Is the universe just a random dance of atoms, or is it a manifestation of a supremely intelligent architect? Can its purpose, or our purpose here on Earth, be adequately assessed? Can we commune with it, know its intentions, cooperate with its direction? Here, we define Threshold as a gateway state of awareness, allowing mankind to cross into a place of real cognition. Threshold allows us to approach questions of higher reality through the door of experience rather than mere belief. Welcome to Threshold, where we tear away the veil from commercial media, bringing our audience and participants into another realm of reality and enhanced communication. New Galaxy Broadcasting supports the belief that all men and women in the United States deserve the right to health, not just in regards to financial compensation, but the kind of health care that presents the best of research science and the best of medicine. Our third program, the Integrative Hermetic Health Show, is one that we believe can substantially benefit the health and therefore happiness of our audience. As you will see from our promo, this is not your ordinary medical program. Dr. Rodier, an MD with a profound commitment to the perspectives of his integrative medicine practice, is an expert on nutrition and gastrointestinal medicine. His life and work in this area, begun decades ago, with his primary focus even then on nutrition, has now been substantiated by cutting-edge medical research. He believes he was right when he stuck to the belief that for many of his patients, the ancient Hippocratic dictum was appropriate: food is medicine. Here is our promo for the Integrative Hermetic Health Show. New Galaxy Broadcasting proudly presents Integrative Hermetic Health with Hugo Rodier, MD. In this program, we explore a powerful new paradigm for health from the standpoint of integrative medicine. In his practice, Dr. Rodier integrates ancient Hermetic art and the enduring role of food as medicine with modern nutrition, but also allowing for the wide range of important health practices, including truly valuable medical discoveries, chiropractic, acupuncture, homeopathic, and herbal medicine. In this program, Hugo Rodier, an expert in intestinal health and nutrition, will help the audience discover an approach that focuses on actual cures, not just the masking of the elegant simplicity of many health solutions for the sake of profit. Profit too long has been an overriding motive of the pharmaceutical companies and sometimes sadly by many in the medical establishment today. When originally embarking on this journey with Inalienable and Free, Voice of the Coalition on BBS Radio as a podcast, we realized that we wanted to continue broadcasting, but would eventually like to move into live remote video broadcasting, expanding the hours of our broadcasts and the number of programs we were carrying out per week. While all our shows will promote the Coalition, we would eventually be creating broadcasting directly to fulfill the missions of the Coalition, especially to fulfill the political, corporate, and media objectives of the social media site. Critical to our goals is to assist political communications of members broadcasting their concerns about vital issues and initiatives and helping members to promote candidates they have selected consistent with the human and citizen rights concerns of the Coalition. The third component of the Coalition infrastructure is the social media site, which is called ourhomeworld.com. For us, the only useful way to solve the critical problems of the world is for nations of sovereign nations to collaborate in a more effective way. To this end, the citizens who live in those states which claim to be democratic must retake the reins of power through the electoral process if they want elected officials to truly represent them. Given this objective, the Coalition for Planetary Empowerment is committed to create, among other things, a social media infrastructure that will enable us to take back our rights more effectively by the power of collective action through dialogue between members, engagement in the electoral process, including the creation of legislative and regulatory initiatives, the promotion of voter registration, the creation of online campaigns for appropriate candidates for primary and general elections. Now, owing to the fact that an understanding of the purpose of the social network structure and how members can use it is critical to this project, let us go through the outline which we hope in time will actually be transformed into a usable social network. So now we're going to discuss the social network infrastructure. The URL for this will be yourhomeworld.org, and this is basically what we're calling now the Planetary Empowerment Network, and it is used for our social activist membership, those people who want to actually do something about government, corporations, and media. So we have kind of a master grid, and in this master grid, we have two major sections here, corporate and media, and also the third, which is really important, government. In government, we have three branches, the executive, Congress, and judicial. You need to think what a network would be like that would allow people to do the important collaborative processes that we are suggesting that will enable us to be able to effectively vote for what we want, encourage our corporations to take a more interested approach in their customers and their shareholders, and to get media to be more responsive to doing their job in reporting the truth. But this is a complex thing. Look at LinkedIn and Facebook as examples. I think they're examples of elaborate interactive networks. There are others, but these particular two are ones that I think have gripped both the business and personal interests of people. In order to go ahead and work together, the first thing that you have to do is talk to each other. And that can be a rather elaborate process when you're talking about things of this nature. Probably the forum will exist on the website directly, not within this particular structure, but I'm not sure of that, because the website will be addressing issues in a more general way. And when they get perhaps narrow enough to be able to utilize this structure, it will be because we want to actually do something. We want to communicate something. We want to get voters together. We want to create media presentations. We want to talk to corporate officers about specific things for which we'll need presentations. So how are we going to do this? Well, first of all, I think I want you to note the different grids we have. Grid 1, which is for contacts, with things, these are basically who you're going to contact. Phone numbers, emails, this type of thing. So we're dealing with, in the U.S. government, we might be talking about senators. We might be talking about the White House. We might be talking about government agencies. We may be talking about people in the judicial area, House of Representatives. So we'll have a list of contacts, congressmen and senators, department heads, so forth. Now, in order to do this effectively, sometimes we need to do mail-outs to a whole bunch of people. We need to have group calls. We need individual calls. We might need to deal with a committee. So in this case, we're dealing, in grid number 2, we're dealing with groups of people. And those groups of people, mostly we'd like to contact them together, but sometimes we'll have to contact them separately in some fashion, like, say, to arrange a group call. We're going to have think tanks. Yes, that's right. Maybe sort of small ones, but think tanks nonetheless in order to develop some of our initiatives. So we'll also need access on Grid 3 to documents or different types of media projects that we're looking at or want to actually create later. But this is more or less the raw stuff. You're looking at things that we would actually use to create presentations. And that would include video presentations initiatives that people put together or we find, various documents in different phases for the initiative, PowerPoint presentations, webinars, brochures, charts, different components of what we're talking about that we will use in conjunction with our presentations. Now, Grid 4 is the presentations itself, and these will be to elected officials, to the membership or parts of the membership, government agencies, potential candidates for office, top media executives, broadcasters, top corporate executives, corporate managers. So these presentations will be for the people that we actually want to deal with. And then after the presentation, Grid 5, we would follow up to try and see if we've accomplished something or what more we have to do. Now, in order to get everything done, we're going to need a lot of different resources or access to resources. Forms and applications, like, for instance, political candidacy applications, petition forms, recall applications, registration to vote. Then we have to have, social activism video guides. How do you register to vote? How do you create initiatives? How do you solicit potential candidates? The campaign ABCs, primary election procedures, general election procedures, corporate lobbying, correspondence formalities, and etiquette. So a lot of this is basically being trained in-house and out-of-house guides to how we can go about doing this. A lot of this we'll set up ourselves. We need a library of all kinds of environmental laws connected with the U.S. Constitution, the Constitution itself, and the Declaration, of course. Federalist Papers, UN Declaration of Human Rights is another example, Security Council rules, procedures and resolutions, international law treaties, all kinds of stuff that we will need in order to be able to talk to people in these different areas. FCC regulations for media, all kinds of business law, particularly maybe, SEC regulations. Then we will give courses in activism, corporate lobbying, rights to health and safety, history of human rights, masonry and the founding of the Republic, the state of human rights, history of regime change. We're going to look at the kind of real general background you need to be able to be literate in this area. So let's go into the process, how we use this thing. Step 1, a member would formulate an objective idea and approach to target the right people using the master grid. And so he's formulating his objective or her objective. And then you got to figure out what contacts you're going to need. Step 3, what kind of groups will be involved to implement this objective. Then you're going to create and finalize a document or media project that you need. And then you're going to actually make the presentation. And you're going to respond and figure out what's actually happened.